The world is filled with mind-blowing things to see, both natural and man-made.
At the same time, there are deep social, economic, and environmental issues.
No secure homes, hunger, contamination, lack of economic opportunities.
We are Boricuas, committed to creating more inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable communities.
An island with an amazing culture, tasty food, clear waters, and the brightest sunshine in the world.
Even when our times are really tough, as Puerto Ricans, it's our nature to love and care for each other.
Enactus, Puerto Rico. I'm Enactus, and these are my partners, Paola, Walter, Evangelista, and Cristina. Today, we will share with you our story.
To achieve this, we are following the indicators stated on the United Nations Wheel of Prosperity, Productivity, Infrastructure, Equity and Social Inclusion, Quality of Life, and Environmental Sustainability.
Let's see how entrepreneurial action for others create a better world for us all.
Juan Berrinche, tengo 21 años viviendo.
Y tengo aquí 24 años para 25 años.
Más de 60 tengo aquí, más de 60 años viviendo.
Vivir en Berrinche es muy complicado porque nos hace falta muchísimas cosas.
Echando una mañanita para comérselo uno de arroz blanco, que ni siquiera da en la noche.
Y pasamos mucho trabajo.
El gobierno no ha hecho nunca nada por nosotros.
Echando días en la finca, un día sí, un día no. Las cosas son así.
Growing up and living in this environment is a big challenge. That was the reality we encountered 3 years ago when we arrived at El Berrinche in San Juan de la Maguana.
53 families in extreme poverty, terrible housing conditions, people rarely eating, serious environmental destruction, no water, no electric power, scarce economic opportunities.
Inequality, diseases, illiteracy, no sense at all of the meaning of the word community, perceived as lazy and misfits, but worst of all, they accepted to live in that reality.
We needed to take action to teach them that there is a world of infinite possibilities.
The first step was to educate and integrate the community in the process and hold them accountable for their own development. Through meetings, conferences, workshops, and simulation activities, we invested over 2,000 hours, and finally, we reached their social cohesion.
Evidence of this, they established a community board, and the 53 families elected the Perez Contreras family as their main leaders.
Along with them, we developed an action plan to tackle the key problems identified in the needs assessment: housing, food, health, and lack of economic opportunities.
Together, we created Bottle of Hope to build and develop a community, 53 bottle houses, a community center, an ecological park, and a space for harvesting and eco-business ventures.
An economic, social, and environmentally sustainable community.
An equitable, prosperous, and sustainable community.
A community aligned to the United Nations Habitat Conceptualization.
To formalize the community involvement, they signed a participation agreement in which each family agreed to contribute to the construction process in order to gain ownership of their houses.
It's a huge project, and we built a strong network to support the process, which included the city mayor, engineers, business people, volunteers, and our university. Strategic alliances ready to make it work.
To assure transparency, we register a foundation to run the program and make our constituents accountable to each other.
To start, we had to solve an important issue. They lived on occupied land, so we found an ideal site to give them a suitable place to live.
6 acres of flat and fertile land, near a main road with access to potable water, close to the children's school, and with the natural and physical assets to create feasible opportunities.
The cost, $60,000 that we raised through entrepreneurial strategies. The agreement was settled with the landowners, and with that, the opportunity to start construction and economic development for these people.
Unquestionably, their main need was a secure home, so we explored cost-effective methods to meet this need.
One thing caught our attention: the large number of plastic bottles being burned in the zone. a habit that causes great health and environmental hazards.
The solution: use those plastic bottles as raw materials to give shelter to the 222 residents.
For those of us living in the Caribbean, climate conditions determine the safety of any structure. That's why we partnered with engineers and a contractor who designed a bottle house that complies with the International Building Code.
An innovative design that replaces bricks with bottle filled with sand, reuses 12,000 bottles, and cools down the house 3 to 5 degrees.
We obtained the construction permits and then we educated the community on how to build their houses. As a matter of fact, 13% of the residents have construction skills, so we gave them the tools to become leaders in the process.
The 53 families participated in this training, where they learned about the safety construction practices, building walls, blueprint reading, among other things.
This was crucial to limit construction costs to only $5,000 for each home and to develop the critical skills to build their houses.
To measure the knowledge acquired, they were challenged to build the community center, a place where we promote their economic and social development.
All of them working together on this construction. 60,000 bottles were used, which reduced the space in their landfills by 2.7 cubic meters.
At this time, 3 of our main objectives were fulfilled. A feasible solution for a secure home. Residents were engaged, now confident that a better life is possible. They had new soft and hard skills and a place built with bottles to promote the economic movement to build their houses.
Le agradezco a Enactus porque nos van a construir una nueva vivienda digna y me enseñaron a colocar la botella. Cómo se van a colocar bien. Ahí aprende.
But they needed more than a house. They needed to better their socio-economic conditions. So we challenged ourselves to develop business ventures, create jobs, improve their health conditions, incorporate women into the economic process, and restore their human dignity.
So we started by creating services and ventures led by the residents. To choose the initiatives, we developed a survey in which we explored their skills, interests, and abilities.
According to the Agriculture Department, this area has the most fertile land in the country. Also, 72% of the residents knew how to cultivate, so we created La Cosecha, an agribusiness venture for the harvesting of vegetables and legumes.
To take the lead, we chose Augusto and Tirso, who showed their agriculture expertise and willingness to learn. We developed in them the entrepreneurial mindset and the skills to successfully run the venture.
Using their agricultural know-how, they divided the harvest according to the weather and the season. That is why the first crop was corn, generating $3,500. Then they planted peanuts and pigeon peas, generating another $6,500.
La Cosecha has proven to be successful, generating this year $10,000, creating 20 jobs that allow the residents to bring economic support to their families.
Just to give you a perspective, the salary generated by Tirso represents 7 times the equivalent wage average of the zone. On the other hand, 15,000 pounds of new fresh produce are being distributed.
To assure sales and distribution, we have a long-term contract with Daniel, a wholesaler that agreed to purchase 100% of the harvest.
This agreement is our main success. Why? No one had ever wanted to do business with this community, and for the first time, someone believed in their commitment, marking a new endeavor for these families.
Esta es la cuarta cosecha que se hace en los terrenos. Es una buena producción, se utiliza en la construcción, en materiales y en todo lo que se necesita para hacer comida y de todo. Es muy exitoso, la construcción está muy bella, muy linda.
With the success of this venture, the business flame had been lit among the residents, especially the women who were eager to contribute to their families.
It was not easy for them because honestly, the Latin macho culture constrains them for participating in the economic process. Women in this area have unstable jobs, do unpaid work, and are forced to marry at a young age.
We challenged that mentality, integrating 22 women in the construction and agriculture processes. And through a 25-hour entrepreneurial program, we impulsed Ruth, Gisauri, Mari, and Alejandra to create a new business venture.
In Moda, a second-hand store that sells clothing to working-class families. to run the store. We reached an agreement with the hotels of the zone that gave them a space to operate.
And they apply what they learned. Taking into consideration the purchasing power of the zone, the women strategically decided to open twice a month, close to payday, and sell the clothes for $1, $3, or $5 to create a competitive advantage.
The results were amazing. In just 3 months of operation, they sold 150,000 Dominican pesos, created loyalty among customers, and opened 2 more points of sale.
But most important, Emoda is providing income for the first time to these women, 2,500 pesos monthly, the equivalent of 3 months average wage in the zone, giving them a productive and proactive role in the economic development of the community. Thanks to our program, this entrepreneurial culture has been embraced, and other business ventures emerged among the residents, provoking an economic movement of over $45,000.
Like Eligio's grocery store that is already up and running, generating over 180,000 Dominican pesos.
Or Jose, a bottle entrepreneur who collects and sells us the bottles to build all the houses.
Well, it is a good time to see how our work is going. Now, more objectives have been achieved with 4 new ventures, 27 jobs created, and the best outcome, we integrate women into the economic process and the community is now perceived as productive.
But still, the community has extreme sanitation and health issues, and the sector was coded as a high-risk zone due to diseases such as malaria and TB.
We must act. Thanks to an agreement with a local organization, we offer free medical services in the community center, already reducing by 9% epidemic diseases.
Also, we developed a health and sanitation program in which we integrated the kids, a great opportunity to transform the bad habits of this community. We taught them the importance and discipline of personal hygiene and the value of water and health.
We wanted to prove their knowledge, and to do it, we challenged them to create Sabon, converting discarded hotel bar soaps into new ones, one step closer to achieve a healthy community.
The sustainable base has been built, and people have the skills, knowledge, and tools to better their lives. All of our main objectives have been achieved, so we're ready to build the 53 bottle houses.
With the income generated in each initiative and with a grant of $16,000, they began construction, already providing secure home for the first 4 families.
Aprendí a cómo vender ropa y así puedo reunir mi chavito para comprar en que sea la leche a mi hijo.
Agradecemos a ustedes porque se han portado muy bien.
Yo veo la buena voluntad que ustedes tienen para nosotros.
They are our driving force to finish all the houses by 2018. At the end, we will have given new use to more than 730,000 plastic bottles and a community fully operational and sustainable.
You may ask, how do they support this program? Our experience and projects in Puerto Rico have given us the expertise and sustainability to help our neighbors.
Let's see how we are standing tall for our island.
Let me put this very clear. We are out of cash.
De no poder brindar y ofrecer los servicios a más de 100 familias. Difícil conseguir trabajo.
We have a severe crisis, but we also have a resilient spirit that drives us to create feasible opportunities for our people.
Following our team's missions, we set our main objective for this year in Puerto Rico: impose an entrepreneurial culture, create job and business opportunities, and support the operations and financial sustainability of several NGOs.
Our driving force? Possible. A business program focused on encouraging the entrepreneurial spirit, which let us this year work with more than 50 individuals and 2 organizations.
Through seminars, workshops, and consulting services, we built an ecosystem of successful entrepreneurs like Maria Carmen, a woman with a good academic background who had to leave our island to look for new opportunities.
But through Possible, she came back home and her new entrepreneurial venture emerged, Identity Puerto Rico, an apparel company in which she found the means to a prosperous life and has empowered 80 women who have joined her as business partners, generating this year over $182,000.
Or Janet, a mother of 2 who almost lost everything due to the lack of job opportunities. She needed to put her passion to work to bring out her capacities.
Gracias a Possible tuve la oportunidad de traer nuevos ingresos a mi hogar y de servir de inspiración para mi hija para que pueda crear su propio negocio.
She is living proof of the success of Possible, an independent woman a successful entrepreneur who made this year over $9,400.
On the other hand, the economic crisis mainly affected the NGOs that depended entirely on government funds, like La Casita, who served families in extreme poverty in our hometown.
We built their capacity and developed 6 initiatives that helped them retain 13 jobs and generated over $60,000 this year to run their operations.
Or La Fondita de Jesús, an organization that served homeless people on our island, who let us initiate the education of 4 participants and the administrative process to replicate our Bottle of Hope program by 2017.
A new entrepreneurial culture has emerged with 41 new ventures. We created or sustained over 325 jobs, producing an economic movement of over $800,000 and impacted over 1,000 lives.
There are more stories to tell because this is what Boricuas do. Stand tall for Puerto Rico.
This is how we use the entrepreneurial action to empower people. And to support our operations, we created Ecolibros, a bookstore which provided us this year over $265,000.
The wheel of prosperity is fully in place. With more than 25 partnerships and a solid strategy, our goals have turned into outcomes.
This year, we built the capacity of a new economic workforce of 447 individuals,
catalyzing 46 new businesses and an injection of $2.1 million into our economy.
We empower 223 individuals to build a community with access to potable water, clean energy, and proper sanitary conditions.
Leading fulfilling lives with better health conditions in an inclusive, safe, and secure environment.
Providing women with equal opportunities to succeed and achieve a fully integrated and productive community.
Ensuring sustainable consumption by harvesting 15,000 pounds of fresh produce.
addressing climate change and reducing the space in their landfills by 55 cubic meters.
Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic in global action to enable economic, social, and environmentally sustainable communities. No doubt, we are city changers.
And by seeing opportunities,
we took action.
And definitely, we are enabling progress.
We are Boricuas, committed
to change our world.
Hello. You mentioned accountability and discipline twice. What is the process for following up on accountability and discipline in helping these people help themselves?
Well, thank you for your question. Actually, it was a really hard process to actually do that, because once we arrive in that community, it's really important to know that this is a community that a lot of organizations actually came to them and promised them a lot of things. And at first, we actually were 2 years with them so they could see and gain their trust that we were not going to leave. We were gonna stay there and we were gonna do those houses. Secondly, like we wanted to empower their knowledge and tools, because that was the first thing. The first thing we did is reach their social cohesion. Once we reached their social cohesion, it was our time to give them this tool, knowledge, and accountability to do that, to do the job within the community. How we assure the accountability and gain transparency in all this process? First thing, we have to trust them too. So we gave them the tools with our possible program inside the community. We showed them how to develop and face and showed us all the process, all the numbers, and all the files to give them so they can show us at the end of the month how much they were gaining in each project. At the end, when we go to the community, they show us all the papers and we see the numbers and everything, and we see if everything is operating as it's supposed to be. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. How have you calculated your $2.1 million investment into the economies?
Okay, thank you. Our total economic movement for this year was 2,105,881. That is divided 1.7 million in Puerto Rico and $400,000 in Dominican Republic. This includes the team revenues that are over $265,000. Our institutional support that is over $25,000. the in-kind services that are $459,000 because this includes the engineers, surveyors, contractor, among other things. Then we have the savings to our communities that are over $234,000. And finally, we have the income that are generated by our projects and our beneficiaries that are over $1,122,000.
Your project in the Dominican Republic required a significant amount of financial investment. In order to expand the project, will you need to invest more money into the project, and is that sustainable?
Well, thank you for your question. Our team, at the beginning of the process, when we were developing the community center and the first 2 years, we saw that we were capable to reach the amount of money of $60,000 in the first trimester. That means that once we started the development of the project and saw that there was going to be 53 houses, we divided the project in phases. Each phase is an amount of money of $30,000. And right now we have the money to invest for the first 3 phases.
Heather, can you just clarify for me what was, it sounded like it was a 3-year term project. What specifically took place this year versus past years?
Thank you. For this year, we started the construction of the community center that is finished right now, and also we have finished the first 4 homes for this community. Also this year, we developed the 5 ventures that is En Moda, Mr. Tilapia, also El Colmado Santa Rosa, and the Harvest too.
And to clarify a little bit more, last year what we did was develop the need assessment, the first need assessment inside the community, and raise the monies and create strategies to buy the land.
Just a quick question from me. I would like to check, would you have sufficient material in terms of bottles within that environment, and where would you actually source it? It looks like 4 houses is quite a lot already. How much surplus material do you have that is lying idle?
To clarify the questions, how many bottles will we be gaining or using? Your time has expired. Sorry.